Okay, so this is Let's Talk Real Estate, Let's Get Real, and it is Wednesday, September 7th. Kids are finally back to school. Weather is still crazy hot out there, so it does really feel like July. But we are now hitting the fall market for real estate, and boy, today have we hit it with a bang. About 48 new listings on the Oakville board alone, and quite a few sales, so things are still hopping. Treb said that August was a record month. The Halton area is having a few issues because we've had such little inventory. So the actual sales have been down a little bit, but the sale prices have been up. So today we're going to talk about my experience with selling where a listing is really managed by what I call a discount brokerage. There's a few that are fairly well-known names. I'm not going to name any names here. But I often tell clients that really you do get what you pay for. And in the end, you'll lose money if your listing is not properly promoted and managed. So that's one of the problems. It's a really competitive market right now. Usually on the buying side, the commission is going to pretty well be the same at 2.5%. Sometimes the odd time you can go down to 2%, but again, there's dangers of doing that. You want it to be attractive to the buying agent who's coming in and showing a lot of properties. But where sometimes people think they're going to save is on the listing side, and in the end, many times the servicing is not quite the same. That's sort of an understatement, and it will cost you possibly a sale or often on the sale price, and you end up losing a lot more than you're saving on the commission. So let me talk about some recent experiences that I've had. It does happen with homes, single detached homes, townhomes, that kind of thing. That the discount brokerage services or agents' lack of customer service becomes an issue, but it really is evident in the condo market as well. When you're showing properties, there's a lot of things you have to do. You have to book it through a listing brokerage. It has to be confirmed through your brokerage. They then give the information of how to set up the appointment as far as going direct if somebody's there, or typically a lockbox where you're getting in. And that's where things start to fall apart. Now, if the property is vacant, it's sometimes a little bit easier. It can be rented or it can be an owner-occupied unit. In condos in particular, we're seeing a lot of rentals, but also in homes as well. And there's rules and regulations that have to be abided by due to the Tenancy Act when you're dealing with tenants. And having a tenant in a property always complicates showing and sales in comparison to it being vacant or owner occupied. But having said that, if you have the front desk of a brokerage not doing the appointments correctly or updating all the people that are involved in it, it can be a disaster. So let's take a look, or let's talk about a couple of those things. Okay, so is it vacant, is it not? So if you're told it's vacant and you've got a lockbox and you go in and it's not, surprise, the person on the other end could be, there, not there, clothed, not clothed, etc. You don't know what you're walking into, especially if they don't know about the appointments. So some of my recent experiences have been having appointments confirmed and being told the property is vacant and walking in. People, they can refuse you, so you can't even see it, so therefore that sale is gone for that seller. Or they're not prepared, so the place is a mess. Or in one case I had recently, half the property couldn't be viewed because, of course, they're using the bathroom, they're not getting out, they're showering, whatever. It really is quite disheartening for the buyers who have come in. Many times they'll turn around and just walk out, and definitely the tenant or whoever is in the place, they get really annoyed. It's often not the first time, and that my experience recently was exactly that. It was constantly discount brokerages that I was having these issues with, and I had it time and time again, in particular one day recently where it happened on probably 2/3 of the properties, and all of those in question were listed through discount brokerages. Another item could be you get there and the tenants or the people have no idea you're coming, or they've got the wrong days, etc. Some of them don't have lock boxes, so if it's the wrong day, you get there and nobody's even home and you can't get in. Another issue is that if they have lock boxes, if they're in condos, where these lock boxes are located are really a variety. They could be at the front desk, which is usually not the case. They could be in the garage, all plastered in one spot, or they could be typically on the floor of the unit in the staircase. So sometimes you get there, there's no key there. The lockbox code doesn't work. The office has no idea what the lockbox is. They've given you the wrong one. So it can be, or the lockboxes are old and rusty and won't open up or whatever. I mean, there's just honestly such a variety of problems. So then you get there, and many times some of these agents have not removed their lock boxes when a listing has been canceled, expired, or sold. So you get there and there's 3 or 4 units, say, in a building, and there's like 75 lock boxes there that you have to go through. They're not, again, they haven't properly identified them. So what do? You try this code, you're wasting your buyer's time, etc. So many times they'll just say, forget it, like, let's just go to the next unit. So does it mean you can't go into a unit at all? Does it mean that a tenant won't let you in? Does it mean that the buyer gets so discouraged they walk away, or it delays a sale, so the days on market are longer and you end up getting less because it looks like the unit really is undesirable? So it's a combination of a bunch of things, but the front desk in particular at a brokerage is extremely important for not only the paperwork and the processing of a sale, but on the listing side, they really are the gatekeepers to the listing information and making sure that they are properly booked. So definitely be very careful when you're considering discount brokerages, because you get what you pay for, quite honestly. So take care, have a great day, and we'll talk tomorrow. Okay, bye.